RBC Capital Markets has a new note tonight from its top biotech analyst. It isn't tracking stocks, it's tracking the virus. Our Meg Tirrell has that interview for us. Meg?
Scott, thanks so much. And Dr. Kennan McKay, Managing Director at RBC Capital Markets, joins us now. Dr. McKay, thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me, Meg. Appreciate it.
Well, of course, normally I'm reading your notes on biotech stocks, but when I saw this one, I thought it really put into context a lot of the data we're seeing from around the world. And I think what everybody wants to know right now is, where does the U.S. stand on this curve that we've seen from China grow so quickly and then flatten out, whereas in Italy it's still kind of climbing? Where do you see the U.S. in that cycle right now?
You know, I think it's still very early days. To your point, we did start tracking this. This is something that's majorly moving markets right now, so we thought it was something very much worth doing. What we are seeing so far is, in China, we're seeing four functions that really describe the various phases of coronavirus growth through the country. The initial phase there was true exponential growth. I think that's where we are right now in the U.S. That was, again, the fastest phase of growth in China. And before they put in social distancing protocols and actually quite austere quarantines there. Again, I think so far that's where we are now. And one of our sort of assumptions as we think about where we could go over the coming days and weeks here in the United States.
Well, one of the things that you looked at also is Italy. And what happened is the case numbers rose, overwhelming their intensive care system. And sort of using an algorithm that you created based on what you saw there, you've calculated that we could get to that point here in the U.S. by early April?
Yeah, I think that data, that inverse correlation between the number of COVID-19 positive patients that are getting ICU treatment, that are getting beds in the ICU, and the rate of mortality, to your point, it's some of the most shocking data that I've seen. And looking at per capita hospital beds, I do think we could start to approach that same stage that Italy hit, probably when we have around 30,000 COVID positive patients here in the United States. Obviously, a lot of moving parts there. It's very heavily dependent on not only the number of ICU beds, but how many free beds there are. The issue is a lot of countries operate near capacity, which is something we're facing right now. So real major concern looked at this.
How close do you think we actually are to that 30,000 threshold? Because, of course, the reported case number is just reported. We don't know how many true cases are actually out there because we don't have enough testing.
Yeah, no, I think we're always going to have that variable sort of working into the function, the number of true cases that are out there versus number of sort of tests administered and test positive. I think we are getting close. Yesterday, the CDC at 4 p.m. reported over 7,000 cases. That was actually ahead of sort of what we were modeling in our assumptions here. I think we could have 10,000 by the end of the week. That was something you heard Dr. Scott Gottlieb mention as well. And 30,000 could be 10 days away by our new modeling here.
All right, Dr. McKay, we're going to have to leave it there. But thank you so much for this work, and we look forward to staying in touch.
Thanks, Meg. Appreciate it.